Hey guys, what's up? Carmando here. Welcome to my review for WWE FastLane 2016. Just watched it. It was a pretty good show, and just read some people's reactions to it. I don't get why people keep watching if they when they all say like, oh, cancel WWE Network, blah 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 blah. It's one of the things I seen was cancel WWE Network for the 10,000th time. Why would you keep renewing it if you disliked it that much? Stupid. I don't get these people. Like, yeah, it's predictable. Yeah, Roman Reigns is gonna go. Get over it or stop watching it. Simple as that. But I thought it was an alright pay-per-view. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't really bad either. I'd just say it was in the middle. I'll give it like a C or a B as an overall rating. But I'm gonna get into all the matches here. First up on the pre-show, my second best match of the show, maybe tied for first, in Kalisto versus Del Rio. Went 50 minutes 12 seconds. A very brutal match. Like, Del Rio is he's so stiff and savage with some of the moves that he does. He's just really, really brutal. And also Mauro Ronaldo was on commentary, which was pretty good. I really like Mauro. Because he was off on SmackDown because he was ill, but he's back again. I was thinking what they should do for WrestleMania is have like half with one team of commentators, then the other half with another team of commentators. They should do that, like split up, because like 6 hours or whatever is a long time. Um, but it was a very good match. Lillian Garcia did that whole introduction thing where I don't get it. Like, she used to introduce Del Rio in Spanish, but now she doesn't do it for Del Rio and she only does it for Kalisto. They're both from Mexico. I don't get it. But a very good match. A lot of moments, like too many to really mention. But it was Del Rio. He's just so savage. He really is savage. There was one point where he was like biting Kalisto's mask. Like, trying to, I don't know what the hell that's about, but he always goes for Kalisto's mask, like tries to rip it off, and he ripped the tail thing off and threw it in the crowd. And I was when he started trying to eat the mask, I was like, what the fuck? It was so random, but a really really good match. Definitely recommend checking it out. And it was on the pre-show, so you get to see it for free. But very 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 good match. Eventually ended. I like the way it went. It's two out of three falls match tend to go this way, where the first fall goes by like a DQ, which W did, where he hit him with a chair, um, and then he came back and I think he did the double stomp thing to get to get it up to 1-1. I can't remember. I'm just looking through the thing here. I can't remember. Oh yeah. Yeah, he just hit the stomp and then he got it, yeah. And then eventually it ended with he had Kalisto in the tree of woe and went for the stomp again, but he missed. And then Kalisto grabbed him and it looked like he was going for the Salida del Sol, but then he fell forward, threw Del Rio into the turnbuckle and rolled him up and won. It was very good booking, and a very good match. I just wish they would build to it more, because the matches are really good quality. Just wish there was more of an actual feud and moments happening, so we actually want to see the matches. But Kalisto won, good match. But something I want to talk about. People always they're speaking about they want the US title to be like a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. I don't get why people always say that. I really don't. Because ladder matches can't be like as brutal and as awesome as they could have been years ago, and understandably so, because you just end up people getting injured. And last year's one wasn't that good at WrestleMania, in my opinion. I don't see why they can't just have like an awesome match like we had on Raw with like 5 people. They could have like 6 people and just let them go nuts and have a great match. You don't need weapons to have a great match. Just let them do their thing and it can be good and action packed. I don't see why you can't do that instead, but some people are obsessed with ladders. Don't know why. Moving on, I don't think there's really much more to say about the pre-show. No, there's not. So, we have the first match, which is Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Team Bad, and they won. Becky and Sasha won by submission, 9 minutes 50. A good match, nothing like really memorable or that from it. It was a solid match, good tag match. I thought Naomi looked really cool. She's got some new ring gear. I thought she looked pretty badass. I do think Naomi is really underrated. I'd love to see her as a champion sometime. She's nailed her character down so well. She's so good, really good. But yeah, the match, good match. Really good match. And eventually it ended with Tamina getting hot in the bank statement, and then Naomi runs in to stop her to try and break it up, but Becky catches her and they disarm her, and then Team Bad tapped out. Good match. She also, there was one point where Sasha did like the backstabber out of the corner, then into the bank statement, but on Naomi it was kind of a botchy. It didn't really quite work, but yeah, she pulled it into the bank statement all right. But apart from that, there's nothing really much to say about it. It was a good match, and I recommend checking it out. Good match. After that, we got to see Machine Gun Ferret at ringside, and then they showed Kevin Owens win the title, and then we got into the next match, which was Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship, 50 minutes 10, and Kevin Owens won. No surprise there. I think we all knew Kevin Owens was going to win. Again, it started off good, and then it got really boring for a while, and then it got kind of good again. There was a lot of rest holds in the middle, which I'm not a fan of, especially when there's too much of it. It wasn't just too bad, but there was times when I was like, come on, get on with the match. It was the same when the show actually started and they had the video package. I was pretty bored. I was like, come on, get on with it, let's get started. But nothing really much to say about this one either. Nothing really like memorable. It was just a good. There was a sick moment near the beginning where Ziggler got Irish whipped into the corner, and like his shoulder like landed weird in the ropes, like it went under the ropes or something. I thought it was maybe gonna, but he like dislocated his shoulder or something. But when they showed it in like slow mo and stuff, it looked nasty. Looked really nasty. But I think he was okay. At least he continued for the rest of the match, so it couldn't have been too bad. Not really much more to say. Ziggler did a Hurricane Rana into the steel steps. What's it saying here? Ziggler tunes up for Sweet Chin Music, but Owens moves, and oh yeah, he almost hits the referee. Then Owens kicks Ziggler's leg out and hits a pop power of the win. Yeah, that happened. They did like a super kick earlier on. Kevin Owens hot one, and then Ziggler like instantly got up and hot one himself, and then landed on him. But then Kevin Owens kicked out. But yeah, it won eventually with the pop power on Kevin Owens. An alright match, just too much wrestles for my liking. Moving on, after that, Owens is on the outside and he's shoving the title in Michael Cole's face and just shaking his head at him, being awesome. Speaking of Kevin Owens, you gotta go and check the interview out on YouTube or WWE.com. He's really good at those interviews. He really is, because it's him. He's not being scripted. It's just him being him, and he's bloody hilarious. It was awesome. An interview with what's his name, Rich Brennan. It just so good. Like pyro was going off in the background and fireworks, and he was going nuts about it. It was so good, so good. You should go and check it out. Moving on, we got like the video package. Oh no, we got a Big Show, Ryback and Kane promo. Kane said he's gonna send them to hell. That's about the gist of it. And yeah, this was the next match. Big Show, Kane and Ryback defeating the Wyatt family. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman. 10 minutes 37. Again, not really much to say. I mean, Big Show whipped out Eric Rowan's tits and started slapping them. That's about the highlight of the match, really. And also, Bray Wyatt took Byron Saxton's chair, and he was stealing it for a little while, and so Byron had to stand for that match. Um, don't know why they always take Byron's chair. Take JBL's chair. He's a bit of a douche. I like Byron. A lot of people don't like Byron, but I like him. But there really is. I can't remember anything about this match, really. Just scrolling through this thing, but there's nothing really to say about it. Ryback nails a meat hook on Harper. Bray distracts Ryback. Harper rolls him up for two. Harper with a super kick. Kane takes out Wyatt on the floor. Ryback. Oh yeah, I remember the ending now. Ryback had a weird looking shell shock on Luke Harper, and it looked like he messed up his. I wouldn't even call it a shell shock. It was more like a. It's more like a Samoan drop, or like the Irish thing that Sheamus and Finlay would use. That move, I can't remember what it's called. It looked almost similar to that, but he landed on his left shoulder and looked like he sort of messed up his shoulder because he was groaning in pain for a little while. So hopefully he's all right. But Ryback, Big Show, and Kane won. I don't know. I don't get it. It's like the Wyatt family should be a big deal by now, but they lose in this match when they didn't need to. Just no consistent booking, really. They should be booked as badasses. They should have been champions by now. I don't know. I don't really see one. I don't think they'll ever really be successful at a high level. I'd like to see Bray Wyatt as champion, but as world champion, but don't know if we'll ever see that. Tell me if you think you'll see that, but I have my doubts. Then there was a promo thing with Roman Reigns. Nothing really to say about him. Ambrose comes in, they say some stuff. Ambrose says he got a good deal on Priceline. I guess that must be some travel shop website thing. I don't know. It must be an American thing. Ambrose says his crystal ball shows one of them at WrestleMania, not Lesnar. And then Reigns just says, "Believe that," and then walked away. It was just random. He just said "believe that," and that was it. And fans started booing. I was just like, that was kind of lame. Anywho's next match we have Charlotte versus Brie Bella, and defeating Brie Bella by submission, 12 minutes 26. Again, much kind of like the last few matches, an alright match. Just not really much to say about it. Nothing like memorable, no like amazing moments or anything like that. That's what I mean. But Brie was wearing Daniel Bryan's kick pads from WrestleMania 30, like they mentioned that on the pre-show, and Cole mentioned it as well. I don't know if I would have, if they hadn't mentioned it, if I would have noticed it or not. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I have my doubts. But Brie was doing the yes kicks, and she did the yes chant when she came out. Brie gets the yes puck applied. Flair throws a fit ringside. Then she turned it into a single leg crab. And then like Ric Flair started like saying, "Think about Daniel, think about Daniel," and then like Brie's like started crying. And then they said that her leg went out on her or something, and Charlotte put her into the figure eight for the win. Kind of weird, but yeah, Charlotte wins. I think we all knew that was going to happen. It's kind of weird that all of a sudden people were Brie fans just because Daniel Bryan retired. And they're like, "Oh, Brie deserves to win, blah 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 blah." Bandwagoners. What can you do about them? I don't know if she'll retire soon or like in the summer. I don't know. Whenever it happens. But I think Charlotte will definitely lose the title at WrestleMania. It would be kind of stupid if she doesn't, since she's held it this long. WrestleMania is a time for change. I think Sasha Banks or Becky will win it then. Moving on, we get a video package of AJ Styles vs Jericho. Jojo approaches Jericho backstage. She's speaking to him. nothing really to say about it. It's just the same thing he's been saying. It's that he's the best in the world at what he does, and we're going to find out if AJ Styles is phenomenal or great. Blah blah blah. That same thing he's been saying for a long time now. But following that, we have the AJ Styles vs Chris Jericho match. And probably my third best match of the night. AJ Styles won by submission, 60 minutes 20. It was a good match, a very good match. I enjoyed it. Um, I'm still not. It wasn't like amazing, because I know AJ Styles does some great matches, and I've seen a lot of great matches in TNA, like many years ago in TNA, like back in like the late 2000s. That's back when I seen his stuff. Um, but it wasn't like amazing like anything that I've seen then. It was still good. He did his like springboard moonsault into a DDT. He didn't quite get it right, but it still was alright. He's managed to save it. Like he didn't land like properly, but he still managed to save it. Well, a good match, just like their last two matches. It was a good match. Jericho got his lion salt. Styles went for a hurricane rana on the corner, but Jericho caught him and fell to the mat, which could have been nasty, because AJ Styles' head is, hitting the ground, and then he turned it into the walls. Eventually, Jericho had a code breaker. Styles gets the bottom rope. He calls him a stupid son of a bitch and a stupid man. How dare you, Jericho? How dare you? Eventually, Styles hits a Styles Clash for a 2 count. Apparently, people were saying that Vince has made the Styles Clash weak because Chris Jericho kicked out of it. Moving on, Styles goes for the calf crusher, which is an awesome move. It's a really cool move. I've never seen it before, but I really like it. And Jericho tapped out, and Jericho sold it really well. That's something I need to say. Jericho sold the calf crusher really well, and he tapped out and he won. He just does won. It's a good match, very good match. And eventually, afterwards, Styles just like raising his hand and doing all these things, doing his P1 thing with the gloves. I might actually get a pair of his gloves, pretty cool. But Jericho like pulls him down from the corner, and it looks like they're gonna fight again. He was gonna punch him, but then he shakes his hand. And some fans booed for that for some reason. And they shake hands, and then AJ's music plays. After that, we go to the pre-show, and they talk about the Del Rio Kalisto match, and then we go on to the Cutting Edge Peep Show. Edge music hits, and Edge and Christian come out, and Tony Chimmel's there, of course, to do Edge's entrance like only he can. I love it when he does that. The Rated R Superstar. You gotta love it. But the New Day comes out, and they have a thing, and like the way they were going with it, I thought, oh, maybe they are actually gonna debut Enzo and Cass. Like just the stuff they were saying, I was like, maybe they are. But then they started going on about the League of Nations and like making fun of them, which was kind of strange. It was kind of weird because they were still acting like heels and making fun of people, and then eventually ended with like Edge and Christian sort of being with the New Day, and sort of making fun of the League of Nations. It was so strange. It was strange, but it was funny. It was funny the stuff New Day was saying, and with Edge and Christian and all that. And Big E at one point was saying stuff to Barrett, like not on the mic. But he's like, "What are you gonna do? You just gonna stand there or something like that?" It was some good shit. But a bit of an odd segment. Like I was, like going by what happened next after this, I was hoping that maybe we was gonna get something with the Social Outcasts, since they did some good stuff on Main Event this week. Like some really entertaining stuff on Main Event this week. You should go check that out if you didn't. But it was a weird segment. It was a weird thing because like the New Day was heels, but then Edge and Christian sort of at the end were like dancing and showing off their booties with them. It was still alright though. It was still alright. I guess we're gonna get a New Day versus the League of Nations feud. I'm all for it. If we get to see if we get Rusev on the mic and him being awesome, then that'll be some good stuff too. Cause I like Rusev. He's funny. It says they were going to do a 5-second pause, but that's on the league now. He introduces them as the International House of Dumbasses. Huh, okay. But next we get a rather random match. Curtis Axel with all his buddies defeating R-Truth in 2 minutes 23. It was just so strange. It was weird. I just the promo before was alright. Like they were saying that they were Priuses on the road to WrestleMania, but then everybody else started saying they didn't want to be a Prius or something, and Kurt Axel wanted to be a tank or something. So random. But then R-Truth comes out and apparently they're gonna wrestle. Not much to the match. Goldust comes out and starts beating the other guys up. Then he like throws Adam Rose into the ring, and then R-Truth like hops over him. Then Axel rolls up and wins. So pointless. I don't know why the hell this was put on the pay-per-view. To be honest, you could have given this time to something else. I don't know. But I mean, at least the Goldust and R-Truth backstage stuff has been funny. But I think they could have left this off the pay-per-view. To be honest, or could have just had another funny backstage segment instead. But yeah, that was probably the worst part of the show. Well, unless you're, the typical people that complain and complain and complain, but yet keep on watching. I mean, apparently everybody thinks just because Roman Reigns won, that means the entire pay-per-view was crap. Strange way of thinking. A bit like the people who thought Survivor Series 2014 was the greatest pay-per-view of all time, just because Sting debuted. You can go back and watch my review to see my full thoughts on that. But moving on, we get another video package, and it's for the triple threat match with Roman Reigns defeating Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar. 60 minutes 4 seconds. And my match of the night, definitely, I would say tied with Kalisto and Del Rio, just because it was pure action from start to finish. And it was the match that match and the Kalisto match was the match I was probably like enjoyed the most from start to finish. It was just action packed, and I was just hooked from the moment it started to the end. It felt kind of short, but maybe it's just because I was so into it and I was enjoying it. But some people complain about like the suplexes and stuff from Brock Lesnar and say that it's kind of boring or whatever. But the reason I like it is because it's brutal, and you can tell it's hurting them. That's doing damage. You can see that you can see Ambrose. He tries to tuck his head, but his head's still whipping back, or his head's still hitting the mat. And it's got to be doing some serious damage, like, because apparently Del Rio was out because of that. He was hurt for a bit because of one of the suplexes. But lots of suplexes. Eventually, pardon me. Eventually, Reigns and Ambrose do the Shield powerbomb through the table, the announce table. Oh, and yeah, and before that, like Reigns went for like a Superman punch or something from the steel steps. Like he ran onto the steel steps and then jumped on, but Lesnar caught him, was going for the F5, and then Ambrose nailed a low blow, and then that's when they did the thing through the announce table. And then Ambrose like threw Reigns into steel steps, and they start going at it. I'm just looking through the recap here because I can't quite remember what happened after this. Well, eventually Ambrose and Reigns see that Brock is getting back up, so they start beating on Lesnar again. They launch him into the barrier. Then Ambrose takes apart the main announce table now, because there was 3 of them. There was Spanish one, which Lesnar went through, and then there was the German one at the other side, and Cole, and that was in the middle. And then they plonk him through that one, and then they start burying him with loads of stuff, all the parts of the announce table and all that. Then they start going at it again. Reigns did that like roll up thing into the powerbomb, which is pretty cool, and gotta take a lot of strength to do that. Gotta give props to him for that. That's gotta take quite a bit of strength to lift that from the ground up. It's a lot of weight. Old Dino fucking Ambrose. That's a lot of weight. But he has a Superman punch. He's going for the spear, but Ambrose gets his knee up. Sends him into the ring post. Ambrose does a dirty deeds, but it's a 2. He goes for another dirty deeds. It gets blocked. Ambrose is on Reigns' shoulder when Lesnar runs in and hits a German on both of them. Yes, that's right. That was a fucking awesome moment. Dean Ambrose is on top of Reigns, like in a Samoan drop position or a fireman's carry position, and then he Germaned them. He Germaned them both. I couldn't believe it. That was an awesome moment. But then Reigns speared Lesnar when he got up. I don't know if that happened instantly, but I guess it did. Then Lesnar goes into the Kimura lock for a while. Reigns gets to his feet. Then Ambrose comes in with some chair shots to Lesnar, and then he starts going nuts on Lesnar, and then he starts beating on Reigns for a while, and then he goes back to Lesnar. Then Lesnar goes out to the floor, and then Ambrose got speared and Reigns won. The only part was I was like, oh really? That's how it's gonna end? Like he just beat up Reigns for a while, and then with like 3 chair shots, and then Reigns just got up and speared him. I thought it could have. It felt like it could have went on more. Like I was really enjoying the match. I felt it could have went another like 5-10 minutes. It felt really short, but I guess it was just because I was enjoying it so much. That was my only downside to it, because I just felt like it could have lasted longer, or like the ending could have maybe been a little bit better. But apart from that, it was all right. It was a great match. Great match. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, your winner is Roman Reigns. Complain all you want. You knew it was gonna happen. It would have been cool to see Dean Ambrose win. The fans clearly wanted him to win. The fans in the arena. They weren't a great crowd, but they were booing Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose was the more over of the two. But Lesnar was probably more over than not both of them. But after that, the pyros going off at the WrestleMania sign, and then at the thing, and then Triple H comes out, and they just have a stare down, and he holds up the title, and then that's it. And then it ended like that. I thought it was an alright pay-per-view. Nothing amazing, but nothing really like bad either. So it was an alright pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. People are saying FastLane and cancel WWE now, blah 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 blah. If you really don't like it that much, just stop watching. I don't have a problem with predictable. As long as it's entertaining, then I'm fine. And this was entertaining for the most part. For the most part, it was good. Like I said, Kalisto Del Rio, the triple threat match, and Styles Jericho was really good. And I really liked the tag match with the women as well. That was a good match. And parts of the Ziggler and Owens match was really good too. The 6-man tag was nothing really to say there, apart from Rowan getting his tits slapped. Charlotte and Brie was okay. Curtis Axel and R-Truth was the worst thing. It just seemed like a waste of time. You could have given the time to like a backstage segment, like I said, or give some of the other matches longer. But I thought it was alright. I thought it was decent. And also, just must have been announced after the pay-per-view or something. I don't know the official time it was announced or whatever. Let me see. Here's Triple H's tweet. Yeah, it must have been just like right after the pay-per-view, like 4:30 it says, which would have been a half hour after it went off. Well, here's Stephanie's one. It's at 3:54, so that would have been like just before. That would have been like 6 minutes before, which would have been like 11 o'clock whenever the time in the USA is. Oh, here's another bloody tweet. 3:56. So around the time the pay-per-view ends, that's when they announced it. So yeah, I guess they want to make up for disappointing those fans that can never be disappointed, can never be disappointed. That can never be pleased or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make some people happy with that. That's good news. He's going to be at NXT Takeover Dallas against Sami Zayn. Oh, spoiler alert. So I'm sure that'll be a good match. Looking forward to that. But NXT hasn't been that good lately. Like the house shows, I always read about them and they always sound great. Like this past week, there was stuff with Bayley and Finn. This sounded hilarious, and I seen the videos. It looked really good. But the weekly shows just, like I said in my predictions, I feel like they're getting complacent with their success. Just sort of putting on not so great shows. Like Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn's match was okay when it was actually the action was on, but I felt like they were just being held back. Like it felt so slow for a lot of the time. Like it looked like they were being held back too much, in my opinion. But there is still some good stuff, but then there's other times I just feel like it could be so much better. But hopefully that changes as we get built up to the takeover. But I don't think there's any other news to talk about. Any other wrestling stuff. Something here about Shinsuke Nakamura. No, it's just that video where he signs with NXT. I watched that before. But so yeah, that's it. So tell me your thoughts on the show. I know it's kind of long. Maybe you don't want to sit and watch this. Like I say, just put it on the background. That's what I do with a lot of videos. Put it on the background and listen to it while I'm doing other stuff. But I'm going to end it here. I'm really thirsty. I want to go get a drink. And I didn't have an energy drink. Like I poured my milk and then I was like, oh shit. I usually have an energy drink. I just totally forgot about it. I poured the milk and I was like, well, I'm not down in that just to go and have an energy drink. So I am feeling a little bit tired right now. So maybe have an energy drink before I go to work. But yeah, tell me what you thought. What you liked, what you didn't like. Tell me what you think is going to happen next and Raw. Like they're announcing that whole Legacy of Excellence thing. I really don't know where they're going with that. It's going to start Raw tonight, so we'll see what that's all about. Some of I think it might be for that Stephen Amell guy. I really don't know. Like I really don't know if it's gonna like go into an angle for a match or if it really is just gonna award somebody. But I honestly have no idea. Tell me your thoughts on that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna end this now. It's a long ass video again, 33 minutes. I didn't think I would speak long, but I always do. I'm a ferret. So yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you for WrestleMania in like 6 weeks. But there is a couple of, I think that 2K Showcase thing's coming out. This new Hall of Fame 2K Showcase for WWE 2K16. I think that's coming out this week. I don't know. I know The Walking Dead Michonne's coming out this week, and I can't wait to play that. When I heard about that, I was so hyped. I will definitely be doing that this coming weekend. And if that 2K Showcase thing's out, I might do it. We'll see. I'm in no rush really to do it, but I might. Because I'm playing like Assassin's Creed 4 right now on the old Xbox 360. I'm almost done. I'm on Sequence 10 or Memory 10. Sequence 10? I'm on the 10th thing anyway, and I'm on the 3rd mission for it. I think it's like, is it the 10th memory but Sequence 10? Whatever way it is, I'm on the 10th one and on the 3rd mission of that thing. You know what I mean. But yeah, gonna end this. Yeah, see ya.